It's always yes to this, to that, unconsciously. Unconsciously, deludedly, yes, and being clear to this and that. One doesn't realize that one is deluded to yes. No is not no itself. This will have nothing to do with yes or no naturally. Everything is no that is not no itself. This will not become the way of the desire automatically. All that being clear, that is already yes, without alphabets, without terminologies. That is deludedly yes already with it, by being clear with it. No is not no itself. This has nothing to do with being clear or not clear with anything. Just purify through the emptiness without traces instantly. The first of all, there is the delusion in the knowing, and then using knowing to yes with all things further on. Yes within the no. No that is not no itself instead. No is not no itself, child. This is called the conclusion is within itself, and proceed simultaneously with everything with this essence. The conclusion is within itself, proceeding with samsara simultaneously. This will end for the one who walks the path and the path itself. It will cease for both the one who walks the path and all the path. The practice and the practitioners will be ended totally. Because that is still samsara for both practices and practitioners. This is still the causes within themselves. They are the samudai within themselves, still samsara within themselves. Therefore, conclude within the conclusion well. My from my itself, not attached to the non-attachment itself. This will end all about attachment or non-attachment, and the attempt to not attach, and the non-attachment. All of these will be ended altogether. Everything is no, is not no itself, child. Everything. This will not become obsessively samsara within all things. Everything is no, is not no itself. If everything is everything, that is only samsara in there. Everything is my from my itself. This will end for everything. If everything means everything, that is samsara within everything. If everything means everything, samsara is still there within everything. Therefore, everything is no, is not no itself. My from my itself. No grasping on its own. Purify everything, end for everything. Purify through the extinction and emptiness for everything. This is not to be obsessed with giving significance and meanings in mindfulness until it becomes samsara and realms of existence within concentration, contemplation, wisdom, vipassana, kamasthana, and mindfulness. This is only being obsessed with samudaya, causes sufferings. That is the samudaya overlaying in that kind of giving significance and meanings. That is samsara within kamasthana and vipassana meditation in itself. Mindfulness is still samsara in itself. Samadhi or concentration is still samsara within itself. What is there within mindfulness? What is it? That is samsara, that is samudaya in itself. That significance and meanings in it. Therefore, from mind itself, non-attachment is on its own. Mind in a way that is not about anything within mind thoroughly. Non-attachment on its own thoroughly. Nothing is within the non-attachment thoroughly. Don't use the non-attachment to become samsara. Don't reject in this way or that way. Nothing is within the non-attachment. Not attached even to the non-attachment itself. The non-attachment doesn't signify itself. Be thorough with it. No is not no itself. Like this is called purifying the purification itself. The conclusion is within itself. The emptiness is not even the emptiness itself, child. The non-attachment doesn't signify itself. Let's proceed simultaneously with everything. Nothing is within the non-attachment throughout everything. That is the mighty force of the purification of the extinction, and the emptiness will be simultaneously and tremendously for all samsara or that which is not even samsara. Purify through the extinction like a lion's roar for everything. Nothing is within the non-attachment, then it will be true non-attachment. That's called the non-attachment that's grasp for itself. No grasping is on its own. Don't let there be any leftover of terminologies. Terminologies must purify themselves, otherwise they will become samsara instantly. They will become the cycle of birth and rebirthing right away. If terminologies don't discard themselves, they will become samsara instantly. If mindfulness doesn't discard itself, it will become samsara instantly. Mindfulness doesn't grasp for itself, it purifies itself, it cuts through itself. If the mindfulness grasps for the mindfulness, whenever time, it will become samsara within itself instantly. What is there that has mindfulness? What is the mindfulness has anything in it? What is there within the mindfulness? Who is it that has mindfulness? What is it that has mindfulness? That is the desire and the delusive attachment, actually. Disregard even from itself, in the way that it has nothing within the disregarding itself. It's on its own. Being obsessed to give significance and meanings in Dhamma. That is samsara within Dhamma. Being obsessed with Dhamma, significance and meanings. That is samsara within Dhamma itself. Therefore, all terminologies must purify themselves, child, so that terminologies will not turn into samsara. Being obsessed to use mindfulness as samsara on and on, having to have mindfulness in this way or that way. What is it that is having to have mindfulness? Huh? What kind of identity is in there in the mindfulness? What is it that entering to have something in something? That is called samudaya within the mindfulness. The cause of suffering and suffering within the mindfulness. Practicing only the defilements in vipassana, fixated to mindfulness. What is it within the knowing, within the awareness? Practicing only the defilements in vipassana. What is it within the consciousness? Huh? That is the samudaya overlaying the consciousness. Desire and delusion overlaying consciousness. Just disregard. Disregard even from itself, without grasping for the disregarding itself. Disengaging in the way that has nothing within it. Then naturally there will be no giving meanings and significance in anything whatsoever. Just share the great compassion simultaneously throughout the whole samsara. Just form up the great compassion, so that there will be simultaneous purification of the extinction throughout the whole samsara, instantly. What is it within the mindfulness? The mindfulness has an identity. The identity has mindfulness. This is compatible, huh? This is called the pair of suffering, the pair of troubling. They are compatible to each other. And they going further and further, joining in happiness and suffering, always joining. That which is not to be grasped, but is grasped. Is not to be grasped, huh? The mindfulness or the concentration. Huh? This is anatta within itself. Is not to be grasped. Wisdoms are also anatta in themselves. What is there that has wisdoms? The wisdom has identity. The identity has wisdoms. This is the pair of suffering, huh? That which is not to be grasped, but is grasped. It's taken to be grasped. What is it that is acting on the letting go, or trying to letting go? That is not letting go of itself, always having an identity that tries to let go of something. Being obsessed with significance and meanings within letting go or not letting go, huh, child? Disengage in a way that has nothing within it, simultaneously with the whole samsara. Promptly. The great compassion that is like a lion's roar, in purifying the extinction and the emptiness without steps in it, without having not having
ไม่
itself.
ใช่ว่าค่อยไม่มีอะไร
This is not
นะ
that I have
แต่
nothing,
มีค่อย
but having I in it.
ไม่มีตัวไม่มีเอง
Not having the
ไม่
not
มี
having
ตัวไม่มี
itself.
เองสิไม่ใช่
Instead,
ใครไม่มีอะไร
this is not about whoever that doesn't have
ไม่ใช่ผม
anything.
ไม่มีอะไร
It doesn't mean
ไม่ใช่
that
ฉันไม่
I
มีอะไร
don't
ไม่
have
ใช่เราไม่
nothing
มีอะไร
or we don't
และ
have
อะไรล่ะ
anything.
ที่เข้าไปมีไม่มีอะไร
What
นั่
is
น
it
น่ะ
that
อะไรล่ะที่ไป
is
ไม่มีอะไร
acting
นั่น
on
น่ะ
not having something?
ไม่อะไรล่ะที่ไป
What
ไม่
is
มี
it
อะไร
that has
อะไร
nothing?
ไม่มีตัวไม่มีเองสิ
Not having the not having itself.
ไม่ใช่อะไรไปไม่มีอะไร
This is not about something that has
ไม่
nothing
ใช่อะไรไปไม่ใช่อะไรลูกไม่
or
ใช่ตัว
something
ไม่ใช่
that
เองสิ
is not.
ล้างอย่างนี้เรียกว่าล้างตัวล้างเองนะลูกนะ
No,
อย่างนี้เรียกว่าล้าง
none.
ตัวล้างเองอย่างนี้
This
เรีย
is
กว่า
self-purification.
เพราะว่า
Conclusion is within
มหา
itself.
มหา
This is
คุณา
promptly
บัญญัติ
with the great compassion that is brightening there
สังสารวัฏน่ะ
throughout the whole samsara.
อะไรล่ะที่ไปคอยทิ้งอะไร
What
น่ะ
is it that is acting on trying to discard anything?
มีตัวทิ้งแต่ไม่
There
ทิ้ง
is
ตัว
an
ทิ้งเอง
identity that is
มีตัวไป
discarding,
คอยทิ้งแต่ไม่ทิ้งตัวทิ้ง
but
เอง
it doesn't discard the
มี
discarding
อะไรไป
itself.
คอยทิ้งแต่ไม่ทิ้งตัวอะไรไปคอยทิ้งเอง
There
ตั
is
วทิ้งเอง
something that is trying to
สิ่ง
discard,
ที่ไม่เกี่ยวกับทิ้ง
but
ไม่
it
ทิ้งลู
doesn't
ก
discard the attempt to discard itself.
พร้อมกัน
This has
เลย
nothing to do with
ทุกสิ่ง
discarding
อย่า
or
ง
not.
นะ
With everything, the great compassion
พร้อ
is
มกัน
there.
พร้อมกันสังสาร
With
วั
the
ฏเนี่ยลู
great
ก
compassion purifying simultaneously throughout the whole samsara, promptly.
สุญญตาที่มันไม่ใช่
Sunyata that is not even sunyata itself, the emptiness that is not even the emptiness itself.
อย่าเอาว่างไปทำเป็น
Don't
อาราม
use
เด็ดขาด
emptiness as a
อย่าเอาว่าง
sanctuary.
ไปทำเป็นวิหารเด็ดขาด
Don't use the emptiness
ว่าง
as
มัน
a
ไม่ใช่
vihara.
ว่างเอง
The emptiness is not the emptiness itself.
อย่าเอาว่างไปทำ
Don't
วิ
use
หาร
the
เด็ด
emptiness
ขาด
as the refuge.
นะ
Definitely
วิ
not.
หารสุญญตาวิหารแล้วทำอะไรเนี่ยนะ
All kind of sunyata viharatham,
อะไรนะไปอยู่
such
กั
a
บว่าง
thing. What is it that is within the emptiness, the dwelling within the
ว่าง
emptiness?
อยู่แล้วยังไม่
Even
ใช่เลย
emptiness as it is
ว่างมัน
not
ไม่
it.
ใช่มันก็ต้องว่าง
The
เอง
emptiness is not even itself. It doesn't signify itself at all.
อย่าเอาสุญญตา
Don't
ไป
use
ทำเป็นอาราม
sunyata
เด็ดขาดเลย
as a sanctuary.
อย่าเอาว่างไปทำวิหารเด็ด
Definitely
ขาด
not. Don't use emptiness as a vihara, because emptiness doesn't signify itself as emptiness. Otherwise, it's gonna be randomized.
นั่นแหละไม่ใช่ตัวไม่ใช่เอง
No, it's not know itself right away, child.
ไม่เอาตัวไม่เอาเอง
No grasping is on its own. Letting go is on its own. The conclusion is on its own. This will not turn into samsara.
เนาะ
Okay?
ล้างตัวล้างเอง
Purifying within the purification
ไม่ล้างตัวล้าง
itself.
เองก็จะต้องไปล้าง
Otherwise,
ห้องน้ำล้างห้องส้วม
you're gonna have to cleanse the toilet,
ล้างพื้น
cleanse
ล้าง
the
นั่น
floor,
ล้างนี่
this and that.
เรียกว่าเศษ
This is the leftover
ไอ้เศษตัวซ้อนนั่นแหละเนาะ
of the overlaying.
ไม่ล้างตัวล้างเอง
Not
แต่
purifying the
มีตัวไป
purification
ล้างอะไร
itself.
ไม่รู้
Instead, it has an identity to purify something, not letting go of the letting go itself, but instead it has something that is letting go of something, whatever it is. Proceed simultaneously with everything. There is no private issues or the issues of the whole. Purify everything privately or the whole. Nothing is left. The whole is like a suffering, big suffering. The privacy is also the suffering, troubling
ส่วนรวมก็ทุกข์แบบ
as
ใหญ่
well.
ดังนั้นอย่าให้เหลือทั้งส่วนตัวและส่วน
Therefore,
รวม
don't have anything that is left over, whether it's private issues or the whole. How can the whole be grasped, huh? This is not like taking only the private issues, but not the whole. Neither is to be grasped. Help through ending and purify through the extinction for the whole and for oneself. Listen well. The whole is like a big suffering, and the private oneself is also a suffering, not less at all. Step back from itself thoroughly, simultaneously with the whole samsara child. That is the so-called non-attachment on its own. Proceed simultaneously with it. That which is not to be grasped, but is stubbornly grasped for everything, from mindfulness, concentration, contemplation until wisdom, from the path to enlightenment and nibbana. This is not to be grasped, but is grasped, pushing to grasp for it. No grasping is on its own, child. This is not about not grasping something. If being obsessed with just not grasping, then there will be an identity to not grasping. No grasping is on its own. Proceed simultaneously as such with everything. No is not no itself with everything simultaneously. All that being clear to this and that is already yes instantly. Let's conclude well. All the deludedly being clear with this and that is deludedly yes with it. There is no terminologies, but it is the circumstance, it is the symptom that is happening. Deludedly seeing clearly or knowing clearly is already deludedly yes with it. No is not no itself, child. This will purify for both clear or not clear totally. Later on, there will be no delusion within being clear or not clear with anything. No is not no itself. Later on, the formed up will not be deluded to. Forming up about being clear or not clear will not be deluded to it. Forming up being clear or not clear, there is no delusion in it. That is, no is not no itself. Mind from mind itself, non-attachment on its own. This will not be deluded to the form up without delusion. Being clear or not clear without delusion to it. The spectacles can be used or not, it's okay. It's not that you should not have.